Hi, I am Aika Gulshan and this lecture is about epidemiology. The word epidemiology is derived from three words. Epi mean upon, demu mean people and logi mean study. So it is a scientific discipline which study on people. Study for what? To study diseases in a community so that we can acquire knowledge for the healthcare. In healthcare, we will prevent the disease, control the disease and treat the disease. These epidemiological principles and methods are applied in clinical research, for disease prevention, for health promotion, protection, and research. These principles are also used by other scientists like health economist, health policy analyst, and health service manager. The modern epidemiology has different branches like infectious disease epidemiology, chronic disease epidemiology, clinical epidemiology, genetic epidemiology, occupational epidemiology, cancer epidemiology, neuroepidemiology. Definition of epidemiology is given by John M. Last in 1988. The study of distribution and determinants of health-related state. Distribution means pattern of the disease by respect of time, place, and person, and determinants are the risk factor of health-related states mean diseases or events in specified population, and application of this study for the prevention and control of health problems. Epidemiology has three basic components: study of the disease frequency, distribution, and determinants. First, measure of the disease frequency means how frequent the disease is. Like it is studied by the help of incidence, means the rate of new cases coming in the community, how much the disease is prevalent in the community, and it is done by the help of mathematical quantities like count, proportion, rate, and ratio. Secondly, epidemiology tells us about distribution. Means all the diseases are not uniformly distributed. They are distributed in a pattern by time, place, and person. Like we study either diseases increasing or decreasing with the time, in which geographic area it is higher in concentration, or is which type of sex or which type of age it affects the more in person. So this distribution is very helpful in forming etiological hypothesis. So this is only done with the help of descriptive epidemiology. Thirdly, epidemiology helps us in finding the determinants, means causes and risk factor of the disease. For this, we have to make a hypothesis between cause and disease. For example, smoking causes lung cancer. Then we have to test this hypothesis by analytical epidemiology. Analytical epidemiology has different analytical strategies like rate and ratio, in which, for example, we will measure the number of smokers and the people who get affected by the lung cancer after smoking, and we will find association between them. So what are the aims and objectives of the epidemiology? First, that to describe the distribution, magnitude of the health and disease problem in health population, to identify etiological risk factor in the pathogenesis of the disease, and to provide data essential to the planning, implementation and evaluation of the service for the prevention, control and treatment of the disease. And this is very necessary for setting the priorities. So the ultimate aim of epidemiology is to eliminate or reduce the health problem and promote the health and well-being of the society. Morris has identified 7 uses of the epidemiology. First, to study the rise and fall of the disease in a population, mean history of the disease. Like some diseases are occurring in a very huge population at one time, but then they become settled down, like smallpox. It is also helpful in community diagnosis, means to measure the health problem in a whole population. This is very useful in setting the priorities in case of limited resources. It is also benchmark for the evaluation of the health services, which we can't say by only looking at one individual. It is also helpful in planning of the limited resources for their rational allocation, and evaluation of the measures which we have already taken to check the effectiveness of that measures, evaluations of the individual risk and chances. It also helps in the syndrome identification by observing frequently associated findings in individual patient. It also helps us to correct the misconception concerning many disease syndrome like Patterson-Kelly syndrome. Firstly, it was thought that there is association between dysphagia and iron deficiency anemia. but this association was discouraged by epidemiological method. Completing the natural history of the disease, the components which are not known. Like the picture of disease constructed on the basis of hospital patient is quite different from from that which are found in community. Like natural history of atherosclerosis, one third to two third of all the deaths due to ischemic heart disease are sudden, occur in less than 1 hour. The hospital study could never have come to this conclusion because the most victims don't reach the hospital. And last point is searching for the cause and risk factor. Epidemiology has helped a lot. Epidemiology and clinical medicine. In clinical medicine, unit of study is case, but in epidemiology, unit of study is defined population or population at risk. So the physician is concerned with the disease or in the individual patient, whereas epidemiologist is concerned with the disease pattern in entire population. So the epidemiology is concerned with both sick and healthy. In clinical medicine, physician seeks to diagnosis for which he drives prognosis and prescribes specific treatment. But epidemiologist is confronted with the relevant data derived from particular epidemiological study, like he do community diagnosis. He seeks to identify the source of infection, mode of transmission, and etiological factor to determine future trend, prevention, and control measures. In clinical medicine, patients come to doctor, but epidemiologist goes to the community to find out the disease pattern and suspected causal factor in question. So the epidemiological approach consists of two steps: asking question and then making comparison between the two groups. Asking question would be of two types: related to health event or disease, related to health action. So we can take the example of this coronavirus. What is the event? It is a disease, SARS. What is the magnitude? It is affecting millions of the people. Where did it happen? It is a pandemic. When did happen? It happened in winter season. Who are affected? Only human beings are affected. Why did it happen? Due to coronavirus. Related to health action, what can be done to reduce the problem? What are the measures which are taken by the government? How can prevent it in the future by vaccination? What action should be taken by the community, like hand washing and not shaking hand with others? What resources required? Like in hospital we need more beds. How activities to be organized, like lockdown? What difficulties may arise, like problems related to economy? The question could be referred to case definition, its distribution, and determinants. Case definition: what is the problem, person who is affected, where it where it occurs, time when it occurs, causes why it occurs. Making comparison is also a very important step to find the difference in the agent, host, and environment condition between two groups. Two groups are cases and control. Weighs, balance, and contrast give clue to etiological hypothesis. Next is basic measurements in epidemiology. So to find the frequency and distribution of the events, we have to measure different things, like measurement of mortality means death rate, measurement of morbidity means disease, measurement of disability, measurement of natality means birth rate, measurement of disease attributes, measurement of healthcare service for planning and evaluation, measurement of the risk factor, and measurement of the demographic variables. This is the end of lecture. In next lecture we will discuss tools of measurement and epidemiological methods. Thank you.